Revelations in the dark. It was a cold and dark winter night. A night so dark that the moon was obscured by thick clouds, making the night sky seem endless and eerie. Celia had been walking through the woods for what felt like hours, each step seeming to take her further and further away from the safety of her home. She kept her head down, her eyes locked on the path beneath her feet, not wanting to look up and risk being lost even further. She eventually stumbled into a clearing, illuminated by a single light in the center. As she stepped closer, she could make out a large stone circle in the middle with several strange symbols etched into it. Unable to resist her curiosity, she stepped inside and began to inspect the symbols, tracing them with her fingers. Suddenly, a deep rumbling filled the air, shaking the ground beneath her feet. As the rumbling grew louder, the symbols began to glow, and the stone circle began to spin rapidly. Celia closed her eyes and braced herself for whatever was coming next. When she opened her eyes, she found herself in an unfamiliar place. A vast, empty chamber with long corridors stretching on endlessly. As she stepped further into the chamber, she heard a faint whispering, a voice that seemed to be calling out to her from somewhere in the darkness. Celia followed the voice down the corridor until she emerged in a large circular room. At the center of the room was an altar, atop which lay a single, glowing book. Celia stepped closer to examine the tome, and as soon as her fingers touched the cover, all of the knowledge of the universe flooded into her mind. Celia had been granted access to the secrets of the universe, but with this knowledge came a new darkness. Realizing that she had been granted such power because of her own curiosity, Celia suddenly felt as though her newfound knowledge was nothing more than a curse. The person who had granted her such power wanted to use her to bring destruction and chaos to the world. Celia ran out of the chamber, desperately trying to escape before the dark forces could ensnare her. As she pounded her way through the corridors, a realization hit her like a ton of bricks. The person who had granted her the knowledge was none other than herself. She had unknowingly unleashed her own inner darkness upon the world.